Hello, and welcome to the Great Plague. What is the Great Plague? Well, the Great Plague is not the virus. The Great Plague is much, much worse than the virus, because there is no cure. There is no easy cure for the Great Plague. There is no vaccine, nor will there ever be a vaccine for the Great Plague. The Great Plague has infected almost every person on this entire planet. The Great Plague is the root cause of all suffering on this planet. The Great Plague is child abuse. Child abuse spreads like a virus. The cycles of abuse in which the abused person becomes an abuser, or even if they don't become an abuser, the abused person invites abusers into their life to fill the role of the abuser that they had as a child. We live in a world where people like to get online and argue. They play politics and they do protests about everything under the sun, but they never mention the Great Plague. That's because the Great Plague is not talked about in the schools, the universities, in the media, or religion. They don't want you to know about the Great Plague. They don't want you to know about the cycles of abuse that are spreading. This disease is spreading. It's been spreading. On some level, we're all abused children. Is it not abuse to make your child breathe polluted air, to drink polluted water, to eat polluted food, to ingest polluted media full of violence and pornography, to send your child into a world where they have to become a slave to money? Aren't those forms of child abuse? Now let's look at the Great Plague from another perspective. What do you think a mouse would say about the Great Plague? Or a bat? Or a frog? Or a beetle? What would all the animals of this planet say about the Great Plague? It's a simple fact that the food chain and the ecosystem falls apart when any one of those pieces are removed. If you take out the fish, all the sharks will die because they have no fish to eat. And all the little plankton and stuff that the fish ate, or the smaller fish, then they become overpopulated. And the smaller a life form is, the simpler it is, the more crucial it is to the survival of everyone. The bacteria, the algae, the plants, these are all vital parts of our planet. If any one of those disappeared overnight, we would all die. And yet, there's one organism, one life form, that's not true of. There's one animal that if they all disappeared overnight, everything else would flourish. There's one life form that if it disappeared overnight, everything else would come back to life. All the species of animal and plant life that have been disappearing so rapidly, particularly within the past 100 years, they would all come roaring back to life if humans ceased to exist. We have become the Great Plague because we didn't confront our own Great Plague of child abuse. Now we spread the plague to every other part of the planet. Make no mistake, whether it's drug abuse or violence, war, racism, environmental destruction, all those problems stem from child abuse. All those things that you're out there protesting, the root cause of them is child abuse. And yet you never go out and protest and stand up for the children. Nobody cares about the fact that our economy is based on destroying the environment and abusing children. And you wonder why the world is the way it is. The Great Plague is reaching a final stage because no disease or cancer can just spread unchecked. Eventually it destroys the host. We are that host. We have become the Great Plague.